25.
Welcome back to Stream Board 1, Players' Championship 4 here in Barnsley, between Rapid Ricky and Rapid Richard. Flyers, the Dutchman, who's had a flying start to his Pro Tour career, reaching a last 32, a quarter-final and a last 16. He's up against Ricky Evans, who's lost all 3 of his first-round matches so far. Been a poor start to the year for the man from Kettering, the fastest player on the planet, the loudest shirt on the planet. Richard Veenstra has enjoyed a good start, and even though he is new to the Pro Tour, he's not new to darts. He's been on the BDO and WDF circuit for years, and of all the new tour card winners,
60.
You would look at him and think he's probably got one of the best chances of making a real name for himself.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being at the Lakeside at the WDF World Championship last year, and Richard Veenstra actually broke the record for the highest average in that tournament. He also almost ended a 32-year wait for a 9-dart finish on that stage. Missed the double to get it. Really is a
96.
Top talent in this sport, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him qualify for the vast majority of the big TV events in the PDC and do well in them.
Yeah, the way he's gone so far, he'll be flying to Minehead because he's had a lovely start to the first 3 Pro Tours. Ricky Evans has got some work to do. He has been on the slide a little bit, as Evans, in the past year or so, outside the top 32 now. He's probably not as quick as he used to be maybe 4 or 5 years ago, where he'd almost uncontrollably launched the darts out of his hand, but he's still a very fast player. Richard Veenstra looking for a fast start, an 18-darter on tops. It's a nice start for the man from Holland.
180.
Yeah, very rapid response from Ricky Evans there.
85.
Yes, there's been some research, hasn't there, into who's the fastest darts player in the world, and I think that the title is actually taken away from Ricky Evans, I believe, by the Dutchman Jermaine Wattermainer.
Yeah, there are several candidates. Martijn Kleermaker, one of them as well. Seems to be a 60. Dutch thing to throw really quickly.
Well, many of the younger crop of players who have grown up watching the likes of Michael van Gerwen, and it's very rare you see the more deliberate types coming through in the late teens, early 20s these days.
85.
Yeah, particularly when you're playing in front of crowds, you can't really get away with it anymore because the crowds are notoriously
62.
impatient as Evans sets up tops from 12 darts. A good response, this. Nothing really that Veenstra can do. 2 seeds, by the way, have been knocked out. Robbie John Rodriguez, the number 25, or 6-5 to Stephen Burton as Evans levels the scoreline at 1 apiece. And Martin Lukeman has gone down to a man we mentioned in the first match, Dylan Slevin, the impressive young Irishman.
58.
Great response, as you say, from Ricky Evans there. Veenstra, twice a semi-finalist at the Lakeside World Championship, beaten by eventual winners on each occasion, Scott 60. Waits and Neil Duff. Also did play on a European Tour event last year, managed to qualify through one of the associate qualifiers for the Hungarian Darts Trophy, and he was beaten by the eventual winner of that one as well, Gerwyn Price.
134.
Yeah, he's a good omen for many players.
96.
Ricky Evans donning the Santa Claus beard at Ali Pali just before Christmas in the win over Fallon Sherrock, and then ultimately he lost against Joe Cullen in round 2. Did qualify last week for the Baltic Sea Darts Open next week. He 60. Won't be going to Leverkusen, failed to qualify for that. So 1 successful day out of 5 so far for Rapid. Hasn't been a great 51. Return. And this would be a blockbuster to really get things going. Well, part 1 was completed well. He was looking for the 19s for double 14. Maybe switched just a little bit too quickly, which is sometimes the problem for Ricky Evans, and he's been punished as a result. Each leg on throw so far.
96.
And a lot of fanfare around his game at the World Championship, wasn't there? Because, of course, Ricky was drawn against Fallon Sherrock, who many thought could do a job on Ricky Evans, but 60. He certainly did his job in that game.
180.
When the first start finds the treble 20, so rhythmic, and 180s almost look inevitable.
100.
It's consistency that's let Evans down throughout his career.
96.
There's all the talent in the world. You have to be a talent to be able to throw darts that quickly. Still awaiting that elusive first title. 96. He got to the final of one of these Players' Championships last season, lost out to Jim Williams.
Yeah, we've seen him reach finals on the Euro Tour as well.
44.
A man who can be there or thereabouts, but not there enough, I think it's fair to say, for Ricky Evans.
85.
And it's been a struggling start to his year, although he did qualify for the Baltic Sea European Tour event. Oh, fabulous stuff while he was from the bottom to the top of the board there in his reliable, rapid speed.
The spotter's nightmare could be an alternative nickname for Ricky Evans.
$60.
Beaten by Jan van Veen yesterday in the opening round, and first round defeats as well in the first 2 events. So still looking to get his first bit of ranking money in the pocket. Tough draw, I think, for him to do that.
180.
Yeah, it is a tough draw, but he's making inroads now. Nothing wrong with his scoring. Hat-trick of 180s.
81.
A little bit of a slip there from Veenstra, so Evans can try and jump all over this.
91.
Big fish for a 12 darter could be on. And all Veenstra can do is apply pressure.
37.
He's done that nicely.
Not going to threaten the big fish.
58.
But in many ways, this could be a big finish, because if he doesn't take it, Evans is going to return with a more makeable combination than one he just went for. And it's a
50.
long way off the bullseye. This to break.
Well, it's double 14 needed now.
98.
And that just completely threw him off. Missing the big number. Sometimes it can be a happy accident when you hit the double rather than the single, but not on that occasion.
Game shot.
And once again, Ricky Evans has been punished. Only a hold of throw for Richard Veenstra, but it'll almost feel like a break because he had no real right to win that leg.
And that's where class counting comes into play. When players have got a plan and they hit everything they're going for, they don't really have to think that much. But when you miss the target you're going for, hit something else, to be able to still quickly calculate what you leave, it enables you to stay in your rhythm. And I think a lot of the Dutch players actually are good examples of
81.
Speed of thought matching speed of throw.
Yeah, it's almost like muscle memory with some of the checkouts because you aim for them so regularly.
99.
So if you do throw an errant dart, that might only take a couple of seconds, but it's a couple of seconds that knocks you out of rhythm.
180.
Not that Evans has been knocked out of rhythm there. Another 180. Nearly at a rate of 1 a leg.
Yeah, he's responded every time, every blow. He's bounced
56.
back, hit a maximum on his own throw and put himself in a strong position. He'll stay there to leave double 16.
83.
Richard not really challenging Ricky on his
56.
own throw. He won't mind though if it goes in the same pattern for the rest of the game. Richard Veenstra will win.
Game shot.
but it is 3 apiece. Ricky Evans, he's hanging on. A 180 in virtually every leg is helping him out.
97. $96.
Look at the disparity there. 12 points between them. That is because of those 4 180s predominantly.
82.
Veenstra still has that advantage, doesn't he, of having won the Bull.
140.
A 140 will do, though. And Veenstra, like he did in his last leg where he started, he's looking
60.
a little bit threatened.
$139.
Well, it's not often you see players start on the 20s with 265, but Evans felt confident enough. Veenstra now lands his first maximum of the game. Treble 19 for Bull.
Well, it's another leg where Veenstra's throw was under threat, but now he's going to get the chance to keep the game on throw. And he's got 2 darts at double 16. That becomes 1 at double 8. Then he's done it out of nowhere. 180, 82 checkout. And Veenstra still clings on to the advantage.
Well, Veenstra nailed the bullseye to start the match, and he nailed the bullseye in the 82 combination. Impressive stuff from Veenstra, who isn't playing anywhere near his best. He's still trailing Evans by 11 points in the averages. But winning with your B game is almost as important as winning with your A game. You can grind out results when you've still got plenty left in the tank. The sign of a very good darts player. And
140.
Veenstra starting to climb through the gears now. And all of a sudden, Evans will feel threatened on his own throw.
Quick reminder of what's still to come on this streaming board. Nathan Aspinall in action next, taking on Bradley Brooks, then Ross Smith, the European champ, taking on Poland's Krzysztof Kachuk. And then the potential, because one of the players still has to win a match, but listen to this, Chris Dobey against Gary Anderson. That's if Anderson could get the better of Andy Bolton. And remember, there were a few words said at the end of their World Championship match. Stays there, double 9.
120.
Yeah, it was an inviting first one in the treble, so Veenstra decided to go for it. Double 16.
42.
Wide of the mark.
Well, who would have predicted that Richard Veenstra would get the first breaker throw in this contest? He will if he can locate that target. And he's edging closer. And he's in. And he's completely in control of this contest. Flyers is 1 leg away from the win.
The best time to get a break of throw is to get your 5th leg. And Veenstra has the darts for the match. Doesn't look like Chris Dobey and Gary Anderson will face each other, because Anderson's currently trailing 5-2 to Andy Bolton, one of the Challenge Tour filler-inners this weekend.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see that the warmth or lack of between the pair if they had have gone head to head. Not sure if they've
26.
Kissed and made up yet.
$180.
Well, you wait so long for a break, and 2 might come at once, because Evans, with his 5th maximum, well ahead of Veenstra.
Seems like he's been in this position almost every leg on Veenstra's darts, doesn't it? He's managed to sort of nick the darts and somehow lose the leg.
96.
He's in pole position, though. Unless...
Should be Bull.
90.
Well, that's where he was going, but a little bit of a wild one.
58.
But again, that just offers hope, doesn't it, to Veenstra. Ricky Evans just keeps putting himself in positions to break the throw and keeps finding ways not to.
85.
Can he pull out a big finish here?
Treble 18, wanted that for the Bull.
38.
And then he was looking for the Bull to leave double 18, and it's a horror bounce out off the wire. For the match then.
80.
Drags that low of the target.
But the miss, the bounce out, means that Evans may only get a dart at the bullseye himself. Scratch that, he gets 2 at double 16 and then 1 at double 8. And Evans hangs on.
Yeah, finds the bottom corner and Evans breaks back straight away. And this has always had the makings, I think, of a last leg decider.
55.
If Evans does manage to hold on.
Anderson has now been beaten by Andy Bolton, so we won't see that repeat meet against Chris Dobie.
Not
many of the seeds falling in that first round, the 17 to 32 seeds.
100.
Roby John Rodriguez and Martin Lukeman, the only 2 to go so far.
96.
Richard Veenstra doesn't know what it's like yet to lose the first round of a Pro Tour as a tour card holder.
100.
He's 244 points away from round 2. In a meeting with Daryl Gurney.
60.
Well, time on his side for once here, Ricky Evans. No pressure at all from his opponent, enabling him to go that route. But he's only left a 2-darter rather than a double.
136.
So for 5 apiece.
6.
More missed doubles, and Richard Veenstra, for a 3rd consecutive break, can break Evans's heart and advance into round 2, which he does. A 6-4 victory against Rapid. It was a case of too many missed doubles from Ricky Evans. He averaged 5 points higher than Richard Veenstra, but it was the Dutchman that was clinical. He continues his fine start to life on the Pro Tour. Coming up on this streaming board, we've got Nathan Aspinall, the number 4 seed, against Bradley Brooks. Stick around.